Well, the Appalachian Trail Congo line has started. The bubble is bursting and it is moving northbound. Let's talk about what's going on with the Appalachian Trail out there. Hey y'all, I'm Ramdino here. I come to you each week bringing stuff about what's going on the Appalachian Trail, information, hiker, what's going on with the hikers. They're reporting back into me and I'm reporting to you. It's all about building a hiker community and supporting the through hikers as they move their way up northbound. Or eventually they'll be southbound. Flip-flopping, no-bo, so-bo, doesn't matter. We're here to cover it all. Let's go ahead and get started here. So we got Waterboy. He is 25 miles away from Pearisburg. He sends in these pictures of some burned fields. Now, he was told that they were prescribed burns. I've never seen anybody prescribe burn a field. He said the National Forest Service is doing it, so that's unusual. Usually it's out in the woods that they're burning the undergrowth that can cause runaway forest fires. But anyway, that's what he said. I think it's pretty interesting that the treadway is not burnt. The rest of it is the field's burnt, but not the treadway. And he started on February 4th, and he did the approach trail, and he was tag number 95, so he's all the way up at Pearisburg. Transcendent, I'm going to screw that name up the whole week. So this is a family Transcendent traipsing, and they have made it to Dix Creek Gap on their way into North Carolina. They were numbers 310, 311, and 312 out of Springer. And they sent along a hiker tip that if you come in the Outdoor 76 shuttle from Dix Creek Gap, they don't run the shuttle on the weekend. So if you come in on a Friday and you're doing a Nero or Zero and you're stuck in town, so they were looking for a ride back to the trail. And they sent this video in from earlier in their hike.
Hey, Ramdino.
Hi.
Hi.
We just want to say thank you for all that you do. We love your show. We love everything you put out. Your content is awesome and very helpful.
Very, very helpful. Thank you.
We're Transcendent Traipsing. We're out here on the trail. We're currently at Hogpen Gap. We just trekked over from Neal's Gap this morning. 7 miles, 7.2 miles. Very excited to be out here. We just want to let you know that we're out here and we're stepping and loving it. It's been very beautiful and an amazing, amazing experience. And you've said on your show that getting to the arches is half the battle, and I never understood that. I never understood that until I actually got there. And 3 days in, I get it. I get it. And so thank you for all that information. And
Thank you.
AT all the way.
Bye.
Nichols, he is made it to Fontana, and he is heading into the Smokies today, and he sends this video in.
Hello, Ramdino. It's Nichols here. I'm making my way up out of the knock right now on the legendary climb. Doing good so far, feeling good. As you can see, it's the really steep part of the climb right now. I think we're probably about halfway at this point, coming up out of the knock. Gonna be shooting for this shelter just before the top of the mountain here. And that'll put us in the shelter tonight with the rain, which would be nice. We'll be hiking it tomorrow, but no pain, no rain, no main. And that'll line us up really nice, having perfect weather for the Smokies.
P-Rex, she has made it on the trail, and she had a 30-pound pack. She was bag tag number 723, and she has passed Neal's Gap and on her way to Dix Creek Gap. And she sends in a vid for us.
Hola, Ramdino. This is Ligia, also known as P-Rex. I started hiking a day ahead of the planned date of 6 March, and today I am making my way down Plum Mountain to Neal's Gap. And at the end of the day today, which is day 3, I would have completed 31 miles of the trail.
Sunshine and Patches, they are almost to Fontana Village, but Patches was having some knee problems, and so they had to get a shuttle out of Yellow Creek Gap into Franklin. They got a rental car, drove to Greenville, so they are going to skip around the Smokies because the Smokies are wet right now and slippery and straight up and straight down. And they were concerned about the knee problem, so they're going to come back and pick that up later. 5 Stack, he's around Deltaville, and he's heading north. He's holding up well. He says actually better than expected. So holding up well meaning physically, and I would assume also mentally, because by this time he's into the Virginia blues, and so that's when mentally you're not hitting as many borders. And it's almost like every time you hit a border, hey, that's kind of moving you feel like you really exponentially move forward. But when you're doing Virginia in there, and Virginia's got a lot more miles than any other state, and people hit the blues in there. But anyway, he says there's very few nobos around him. He's pretty sure there's 6 that started at Springer ahead of him, including Night Shift and Lost Boy and a couple others, and they are doing a calendar year Triple Crown, so they are doing big miles. And he also said Pac-Man and Steady, they're about 5 days ahead of him. He sends in this quick video.
Hi, Ramdino, 5 Stack here. I'm about 15 miles north of Daleville, heading up towards the Blue Ridge Parkway. Just touching base. It's a hot day today.
Chuck Al, he's made it to Fontana Village. He took a fall heading into the knock, sprained his ankle, so had to take a few days off, but he's going to keep going. He did take a 00 there in Fontana, and he's healed back, and he should be climbing up into the Smokies. 111, he's made it to Irwin, and he sends in this video.
Good morning, Ramdino and family. Hope everybody's doing well. This is 111. This is what it's like to walk through the mountains after a rainstorm. Everything looks like Charmin, in case you were wondering what a cloud feels like. This is it. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Thursday. I am headed to, attempting to do 17 into Uncle Johnny's. We'll see. Don't really want to sit up in this, but may have no choice. Hope all is well. Keep you all updated. Have a great day.
Andrea, she is on trail, and she's made it to Franklin. And her story is that right before she got on trail, a month or so before, she caught RSV, had to be hospitalized with that and pneumonia, and they almost intubated her. But she took a turn for the better, and they didn't. And so she is, after 3 days in the ICU, she's back on trail, and her message is to get out there and enjoy life. You never know what may derail your plans. That's great advice, Andrea. Appreciate that. Gadget Girl, she stepped off on her hike. Her pack weight was 26.1, which included 3 days of food, 2 liters of water. She sends in this video.
Hi there, Ramdino. Gadget Girl checking in with you. I weighed my pack in at Amicalola Falls at 26.1 pounds. Bag tag is number 689. I've sat off of Springer Mountain where my little support crew was meeting me. And I have made it so far to Woody Gap. Remember, not all who wander are lost.
Thank you, Gadget Girl. Sassafras Jim, he is back on trail, and he is somewhere around the north of Hot Springs, and he's saying life is good. Bluebird, she is north of the Knock, and she says she has met some incredibly nice people out there. She hadn't fallen yet. She did meet Fresh Grounds twice, had breakfast and lunch, so she's being fed well. It's been a wonderful adventure so far, according to her, and she sends in this video from the trails.
Hey Ramdino, Bluebird here. I just passed Siler Bald Shelter, and I just wanted to show you a little trail update. As you can see, there's quite a bit of blowdown here going up toward Way Bald. I'm having a great day. It's a beautiful bluebird sky day. Hope you're having another good day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Mountain Goat, he has left Georgia behind, and he is in North Carolina, and he sends in a video as well. Apparently there's been so much rain there that even the trees are taking a leak.
The tree is taking a leak.
Just Herb, he is made it on trail, and he is coming into Dix Creek. Mountaineer, he's heading north out of Atkins, Virginia, so there's another one that's pretty far north in Virginia. Livewire, he's back on trail after an injury, and he is heading into Dix Creek Gap. He sends in this video.
Hey Ramdino, it's Livewire. I had to take some time off the trail. Took about a week and a half off to fix my knee issue, but I am back on trail. I got back on Tuesday, and I hiked from Jared Gap to Lance Creek, and then Lance Creek to Woody Gap. I have one more section to do, which I will be doing the day that your show airs on Sunday, and that is over Blood Mountain to Jared Gap, and then I'm going to be heading north from Neils. So just wanted to give you a quick update and let you know that I'm back on trail, and we'll be heading north on Monday. Thanks, Ramdino. We'll see you later. Oh, and by the way, the trail's been a little muddy here in Georgia. They've been getting a lot of rain. So any hikers out there that are doing the Georgia section, please be careful, because a lot of people are tweaking knees and rolling ankles. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Gear Magnet and Landline, they are somewhere around Hughes Gap, Tennessee, and they plan on making it to Damascus this coming weekend. They've struggled a bit. They say they've had some hurt tendons, but overall they're doing well. They love Hot Springs. Their favorite camping spot was Beauty Spot, and Beauty Spot's a gorgeous bald up on top of a ridge, and typically you can actually drive to it, but right now they're doing road work in that area, and so you cannot drive up there. Drifter and Blue, they are officially out of North Carolina. They should be in Damascus within 7 days. Rooted, she's hit the 100-mile mark and made it to Franklin. She sends this photo that she took of a shelter and some folks there at the Rock Gap shelter. She said the Trail Angel Gentle Ben brought us dinner right there to the shelter. Of course, that shelter is probably only about, I don't know, maybe 300 yards, maybe not that far off, right there at Rock Gap, which is a parking area. But that's still pretty cool to bring dinner right in there to the shelter. And she said they were actually low on food. So she said the trail truly does provide, loving it, and all the amazing people that she's met so far, especially Papa Bear and Mama Bear, who she's been hiking with and learning a lot from them. So that is awesome. Oz, he has gotten on trail. Oz, a hiking sailor, and he has made it to Neils Gap and sends in this water report on the first section there from Springer into Neils Gap. So take it away, Oz.
Good day, Ramdino. This is your water report from Amicalola Falls to Neils Gap. Before we start, Thumper and I use the Triple C method of determining what water is safe: clear, cold, and close to source. All water sources from Amicalola Falls to Neils Gaps are flowing very well. The rivers, however, only get the double C standard, which is cold and clear. That's it, and see ya. This is Oz on the Appalachian Trail.
Stick, he has made it to the Smokies, and he sends in this video.
Hello Ramdino, it is Stick the Eagle, Stick for short, on the Appalachian Trail. I'm over here at Fontana Village right now. I have reached the Fontana Dam. Today we ran into fresh ground again, so that is wonderful. We are considering going into the Smokies either tomorrow or Sunday. Tomorrow is supposed to be bad weather, so we'll see if there's a break in the weather to go up there. One thing I will note, at Socoa Gap, there is road construction, so they have a little detour in place there that is not according to what Far Out is saying. So note that. Thank you for all you do, Ramdino, and have a great week.
Master Splinter, he is out of the Smokies, and he and Leo have been reunited and sends in this update from the trail.
Hey Ramdino, it's Master Splinter. I suck at hiking. Me and Leo are reunited. I had 2 plates washing him through the Smokies. Got through the Smokies in 4 days. I had 3 beautiful days and 1 very rainy day. 19, 20, 15, and then 23 out. But Smokies are absolutely beautiful. The trail is beautiful. We're pushing into Hot Springs in a couple of days. Just wanted to give you a short update. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy trails.
Zeb, he is a 21-year-old that is off of college right now, and he said that he is coming into Marion, Virginia. He recently had to get off trail to go see his brand spanking new niece, and he had to leave and lose his family of Sam and Frodo. So he sends in this video here. Go ahead, Zeb.
So I wanted to get a last picture, but I just passed Sam and Frodo for the very last time probably, because I'm going to get off trail here for a couple days. And so I won't be seeing them much anymore, which is kind of sad. But they're headed north, and I'm heading south for today's section hike. And then they're going to be about 100 and 150 miles ahead of me for the days that I'm going to be off. So it was so good meeting them, but I'll see them again hopefully someday. Good friends.
Just goes to show you just how the trail brings people together and what a tramline means, and just how hiking and going through all the things that you go through out there on trail, how much that means to each other, and sharing it with other people, and the camaraderie and the community that you build. You can just, it's palpable in his video there that just how much he misses that, and how much that he wishes that things could have been different. But I know that he loved seeing his niece there and getting to see his sister, so that was pretty cool. Wolfman, he has made it to the 100-mile mark. Day trippers, they have stepped off at Springer, and they were hiker number 8036 and 837. Terry Campbell has a trail name, happily retired. He's made it to Blairsville. And Tara, she got started and sent in this video.
This is Tara on the approach trail to Springer Mountain. I'm about 3 miles from Springer Mountain Shelter, and it is raining. The trail is a little bit wet, but not too bad. A few muddy sections, but it's warm and the rain is light, so it's a great start to my hike. It's pretty quiet out here today. I've only passed by about 9 other people so far, and just 2 of them had through hiker tags. We'll see how many people are at the shelter.
Now, her piece there, when I watched that, just the piece she had about being on the trail was just palpable. I mean, so that is neat. You can tell that she is in her happy place there. She should be somewhere around Neil's Gap by now, maybe beyond that. And then Boo-Rah, Booster, and Buttercup, they have gotten started, and they send in this video.
Hey, Ramdino here, and fellow hikers. We are at the visitor center at Amicalola Falls on March 8th. I am number 840, just checked in. The arches are right there. Average pack weights are between 28 and about 32, talking to the guy here. So that's what you got information. So we're off and hiking. Boo-Rah on the trail with his gal, reporting in.
So appreciate all those folks that sent me those videos and sent me your updates and pictures. Thanks a lot. I really enjoy seeing that, and I know the folks out there in the hiker community do as well. If you want to do that and you haven't done it before and you don't know how to get in touch with me, all those links are down below. You can do that through email or messenger or any of those. If you are not on my support list, I would encourage you to do so. And that link to get on the support list is down below as well. And that's where people can go and find your social media and then give you a attaboy or attagirl all the way throughout the course of your hike. And of course, if you're in the hiker community, you can go to that list, and that link's down below as well. And you can find people that you can go and support there. So appreciate y'all doing that. Thanks a lot for the hiker community for supporting these thru hikers as they get out there. And I want to thank the ATC. They got their data figured out there on their registration. You'll remember last week we had some really bad data information, so we couldn't give you all the stats that we normally do. But I got a notice there from the information officer, the ATC, that they did get it fixed. So appreciate y'all doing that. Let's go ahead and look at the registration. But before we get to the registrations.
And now we're taking it outside to talk about when is a great time for Element drink mix. 124, 525, 526. When you're walking up 520, dang it, I can't remember. Oh, I'm gonna need some of this. Start note. When danger or death is always a possibility. When you're free climbing up here to get these awesome views. When you're willing to walk 1/10 of a mile off the trail to get a view like that. Yep, all those times are great times for Element drink mix, where you're using a ton of electrolytes when you're doing so, and it's got all the good stuff in it to replenish those electrolytes. It's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium and 60 milligrams of magnesium. No sugar, no fillers, no junk, nothing in there that's going to clog you up or anything else. And for a special time right now, for all my viewers out there, you can go to elementdrinkmix.com/Ramdino and get a sample pack with any order that you make. So that's DRINKLMNT.com/Ramdino. Go to that website and get you some.
Would you believe I caught that on the first take? Okay. I didn't think you would, but anyway, go out and get you some of that, some really good stuff. And I personally use it, and it's addictive for me. So let's talk about the registrations. Registration, of course, like I said before, the data is now back to normal. Last week we had a little glitch in it. Hey, Daisy, we had over 500 hikers leaving the trail on one day, so obviously that's a glitch. But this week the registrations are, so we're not comparing them to last week, we're comparing them to the week before that. So this week for Nobo, registrations are at 2,768. That's up 371 from 2 weeks ago. We are up to 130 flip-floppers, up 16 from 2 weeks ago, and we are up 11 Sobo, up to 86 currently, for a total of 2,984 hikers that are registered, which is up from 2,586 2 weeks ago. So we are bumping up against that 3,000 mark, and that's up 400 from a week ago. So there's actually, though, there's less hikers out there than there typically have been in the past. So what I'm tracking right now is that we're, like I said, we're coming up somewhere on 900 hikers that have stepped off this week. In 2022, on March 11th, when my hiking buddy Come Along started his through hike, he was tag number 1,152, and that was on March 11th in 2022, 2 years ago to the date. So obviously we are a little behind. The trail is now maxed out, so we went from being maxed out 2 weeks ago from 2 days, now we're maxed out for 10 days. So that's a pretty significant boost in there. We are on the front end of the bubble there, so you can see at the apex of where the hikers are, or when they got started, where actually the registrations are. You can see now we're for the next, really for the rest of the registration, we're going to start being less and less. Now that may change. There may be a lot of people all of a sudden that come out in droves and register. So we'll see. But it looks like right now, if the trend stays the same, it's going to be less and less people getting on trail per day than we've had in the past. The hiker heat map here is showing where the front of the bubble is, and that's the very front of the bubble, not the middle of the bubble, not where the most of the people are, but it's somewhere between Franklin and the Smokies. I did hear from Munn, who's a trail angel from Pennsylvania, but he drove all the way down here, and he is doing trail magic around the Unicoi Gap, and he said he was seeing about 50 hikers a day come through there. And then I was in touch with another trail angel that was doing trail magic up around Fontana, and that's right before you get to the Smokies, and he was seeing somewhere between 20 to 25 hikers that were coming through there. So right at the beginning of the bubble, we'll see how that goes. Not having a lot of people report in as getting off as I have in the past. So typically by now I've had maybe a dozen or so. So I really haven't, we've had about probably half that have stepped off due to injuries, or when I say stepped off, I mean stepped off the trail for good, not stepped on the trail. I know that's confusing. I'll say they've stepped off on their hike, which means they've actually stepped on, but in this case, they've stepped off the trail, off the trail for good. Yep, I'll try to figure that out. Anyway, that's what's going on right now with the hikers out there on the trail. So I want to give a thanks out there to Tyler Nixon for putting his name on the Trail Angel list. So the Trail Angel list that I have is not a public list. So these are a list of trail angels up and down the trail that will come and pick hikers up in a pinch if they can't get back to the trail, or if they need to get off the trail and they can't find a ride otherwise with a paying shuttle, that these are folks that'll help out. Or if somebody's not wanting to get off the trail and they just need some resupply, something like that, or they got an emergency, they need to get off the trail in a hurry, these are trail angels that help those folks out. So I have a list of that. So if you're a through hiker and you want that list, if you're on my support list, I can send it to you. But I also need a copy of your ATC registration where you registered your hike with the ATC. Now, not everybody registers their hike, so you either need to have that or be on my support list. Somehow I've got to vet you out because that is not a public list. And if you're a trail angel and you want to be on that list, send me a email or a DM or something. And send that to me and let me know where you are, how hikers can get in touch with you, and what area that you will come out and help people on. So some folks out there that are from our hiker support list that are stepping off the matrix and onto the trail. This coming week, we got Jesse Wolf, Dorothy, Jason Ware, Heather and Chuck Reed, Noan Dog, Sparrow, Donna Lehman, Buck Naked, Florence Bradley, who's also her trail name is Fireflow, French Canadian, Darren Varsey, Cheryl, Patrick Hanlon, Molly, Delta, and Smoke. So they're all stepping off this coming week. Go and check them out on my support list and follow them along throughout the course of their hike. So we got a little bit of news that's going on out there. Our northern correspondent Whispers, he sends in that the reports are the bears are back out up in the white. So kind of had an early spring up and down the trail, even though it's been wet. So they are coming back out. They're starting to be active. He said the White Mountains are generally into the spring melt conditions right now. So below tree line, the trails are a mixture of icy snowpack, softer snowpack, bare rock, and running water. And the stream crossings now are entirely exposed, but the rocks can be icy going across those stream crossings. So he is hoping that maybe we'll get an early Katahdin opening because it's getting a little warmer earlier than it typically does. We'll see how that goes. The Appalachian Trail Fest and Hot Springs, it typically happens this time of year, and it was scheduled for April 12th through the 14th. That has been canceled. So it's the has been the second largest AT festival in the U.S., second only to Trail Days in Damascus, but it's been canceled for this year. They had some little problems with the folks that typically sponsor it, and so that is, and those folks decided not to sponsor it a little late in the game. So now they're transitioning to somebody else sponsoring, but they just couldn't get their ducks in a row in time for this year. So they are going to be bringing it back for 2025, and it's going to be sponsored and put together by the Laughing Heart Hostel up there. But for this year, they are not completely doing away with everything. The weekend on Saturday, April 27th, they're going to have the duck race there, and that's organized by the Hot Springs Fire Department. So proceeds from that can go to the Volunteer Fire Department and 2025 Trail Fest. And then after the duck race, they're going to have a dinner and fashion show over at Laughing Heart Hostel, and that's free to hikers and guests. The food is, and donations can be accepted for the 2025 Trail Fest that they're going to be sponsoring. So appreciate the fire department and Laughing Heart Hostel doing that and having something so that, that's a meeting of the hiker community, and a lot of people look forward to that every year. Any chance a hiker community can get together, we look forward to that, and so appreciate them at least having something of that. And then over at Fontana, as hikers come in and get ready for the Smokies, the Fontana Lodge, the lodge itself is closed, but the rooms are open. So you can still call the lodge number and you can get a room there, but you'll be checking in through the general store to get your keys and such. The general store is open 24 hours. The number to call, though, is to call the lodge. I tried to call the general store, and the general store, it just rang and rang and rang. There's no answer machine, and nobody answered. But when I did call the lodge, they did answer over at the lodge, and they also have shuttles. So the shuttles run at 9 o'clock a.m., 12, and 4. And they run a shuttle over to the marina where they'll pick you up and bring you over to the lodge. And the general store is right there at the lodge where you can get a resupply at the general store. And then there, of course, they'll bring you back on those time frames of 9, 12, and 4. So I would give the lodge number a call, and the lodge number is there in the on your Far Out app. So that's where I found that. And I did call the 800 number, the local number. I couldn't get anybody to pick up on the local number either. Angels Rest Hiker Haven up in Pearisburg, Virginia, they have reported in that they have started seeing hikers up there already. And since we got some hikers that are cruising on through Virginia, we want to bring up some information that we found out about the shanties. So the shanties, there are some reduced potable water sources in the shanties. Yes, Daisy's got the zoomies once again. This usually happens right in the middle of me trying to chat with you guys. So we'll just let her do her thing. Now back to the shanty. So water will no longer be available from the Spickets and Dundo Group Campground and South River Picnic at the Shenandoah National Park, and that's NOBO miles 888.2 and 913.1. In the Dundo area, AT hikers, they can get water there at Black Rock Hut, which is mile 885.3, and Loft Mountain Campground, which is NOBO mile 892.7. And in the South River area, you can get water there at the Lewis Mountain Campground, NOBO mile 918.4, and Bear Fence Mountain Hut, NOBO mile 919.1. So those are your best bets for water there going through the shanties. Had a question this week from Mr. Richards at Nature Walk Talk, and he says, hey, what does everyone recommend for a GPS on the AT? So he didn't specify what he means by GPS, but that is a great question, and my assumption is he's talking about for navigation. So what I will tell you, what everybody uses for GPS on the AT is they don't use a GPS. Most people, by and large, use what used to be called gut hooks, and I keep calling it gut hooks, but it's actually the Far Out app. So Far Out app utilizes GPS signals, but it's not a GPS per se. But for all practical purposes it is, but it's much more than just a GPS. But that is how everybody pretty much navigates on the AT. Ain't that right, Daisy? Yes, it is. And of course, it's going to give you water sources and what's going on as far as numbers for hostels and things like that. So most folks don't use a GPS at all. Now, they do use a GPS locator. And so if that was your question, what do most people use for a GPS emergency locator? And what I call a bailed out button. So that is a emergency locator where if you hit the button, it will send rescue to you. And it will be very expensive rescue that it will send to you. But it's rescue nonetheless. If you need it, it's there for you. And most people use the Garmin InReach, the Garmin InReach Mini. There are other various ones out there. I use a Garmin Spot. So the Garmin InReach Mini, you can actually send text via your smartphone. The Spot is completely self-contained, and all it can do is it has a bailout button and 2 messages that are pre-programmed into it to where I can hit that button, and typically it's something like, hey hun, I'm here at camp for the night, all's well. And I hit that button and I can't change that. So that's what I send to my wife. It will also, as well as InReach Mini, you can track somebody on it, so you can share your track with somebody and they can see where you are out there on the trail. So I would say that is what most people use. But as far as for navigation, they use the white blazes and they use Far Out. And that's pretty much it. I want to give a huge shout out to all you folks out there that sent in such great support for me last week. I shared with you about my best friend from high school who has given about, by now he's given a week and a half to live. 3 weeks ago he was given, a week and a half ago he was given 3 weeks to live. And so I had asked for your prayers for that, and also asked for your prayers for me. I don't think he's saved, and so I've got to have that conversation with him. So I want to thank all of you guys out there that sent in, that said you would pray for me. For those of you that don't pray, that are not believers, you sent in good. You said you'd send good vibes or sent in good thoughts for me, and all those go to the hiker community. That's just an example of how great the hiker community is. Out there, with the exception of one person who sent in something that was derogatory about me sharing my faith with you. And I know this is not a spiritual channel as far as it's a hiking channel, and I guess that kind of upset this person. But that was out of the 207 comments I got, that's one person. So that's less than 0.5% of people that complained in. And again, that's just so indicative of the hiker community and why I do this every week and why I do what I do. Because I want other people to experience it. I want to share this community with other people. We're all alike, a whole lot more alike than we are different. And so thank you for supporting me in that. Thank you for sending your prayers for that. Please continue to do so. Monday, tomorrow is when I will be speaking to him, and we're going to be visiting. It's not an in-your-face type of thing, but I've still got to do my best to try to make sure that when he leaves this world, that he passes on, that he knows Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, and that that's where he'll be in heaven, so that his mama and his brother and his family and me can be in heaven when we pass as well, to be with him. And that's the only way that you can do it, is to accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. And so that's what my goal is for that day, as well as just seeing him in the final days of what the doctor said. However, as I have told him, and I will tell everybody out there, whatever you're suffering with or however old you are, there's no countdown on your forehead that's counting you down. So you need to live each day like it's going to be your last, but you also live each day like there's going to be a tomorrow, even though we are not promised tomorrow. But enjoy it while you can out there. Again, thank you for your support. I continue to ask that support. I'll let you know how things go. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.